Welcome to Upari Gaming. It's finally time to start High Isles chapter's main questline. I have postponed this too long. I don't know why I have postponed this much, but anyway, I already grabbed the quest,
Let's go do something
and
exciting.
here is Arabelle, Lady Arabelle, who I have to talk to.
So good to see you again, my dear. Remember that little predicament we dealt with not too long ago? Well, now I have a related but larger problem, so let me tell you about my proposition. It pays exceedingly well, I assure you. Care to hear more?
What sort of proposition?
Oh, nothing tawdry, my dear. We'll be too busy for romantic shenanigans before long, I expect. Some precious cargo was supposed to sail in on the morning tide, but it never arrived. I need someone not known around the island to be my eyes and ears.
Your eyes and ears?
While tales of my exploits credit me with all sorts of talents, I can't be in more than one place at a time. I could use a fresh face to mingle with the locals, determine if anyone knows anything about my 3 missing ships and their cargo.
All right, I'm willing to help.
Lord Baccaro's conference can't proceed without that cargo. Here's what I need you to do. Check the inn, the lighthouse, and the Lockabane shallows. See if anyone knows or saw anything. Then meet me outside the north gate to compare notes.
Tell me more about the locations you want me to investigate.
Certainly. Since you're new to High Isle, I understand you may not be as familiar with the local area as I am. What do you wish to know?
Tell me about the lighthouse.
Gonfalon Head Lighthouse, blessed by Kinnereth herself, stands atop the hill just west of town. It offers an excellent vantage from which to watch the nearby waters. Perhaps the lighthouse keeper saw something that will help.
Like the Storm Lord Bacaro mentioned.
Possibly. When ships fail to make port, it's only natural to wonder if they were damaged or blown off course by a storm. The lighthouse keeper has a perfect view of the approach to Gonfalon Bay. If my ships were out there, she might have seen them.
Tell me about the Lock Upine Shallows.
The currents of Lockabane are strong. Flotsam from the open sea often washes up along the shores of the waterway. Some of High Isle's poorer folk comb the beach looking for salvage. Let's hope they haven't found any today.
Tell me about the inn.
The ancient Anchor Inn sits just up the street near the city gate. It's one of the more popular places on the island. In my experience, inns are an excellent location to pick up rumors.
Where should I start?
Wherever you think is best, my dear. But do get started soon. My intuition tells me that some sort of mischief is afoot, and my intuition is rarely wrong.
You mentioned conference. Tell me about that.
The gentleman beside me, Lord Baccaro Valoris, leads the Society of the Steadfast. They're a philanthropic fellowship that provides aid to people who have suffered in the Three Banners War. The Society is sponsoring a conference here on the island.
Oh, you mean the peace talks.
Well, yes, but we're trying to keep the details under wraps. Only a handful of people know the true purpose of the conference. You were brought in on the secret during our last run-in with the Ascendant Order, but please keep it to yourself.
What happens if your missing ships don't turn up?
That's not an option I care to contemplate. Not while there's still a chance to find them. Forgive me for being evasive, but it's a rather sensitive topic to discuss in public. We've already faced adversity, and the conference has yet to begin.
You mentioned tales of your exploit before. Who are you again?
Me? Oh, I'm no one special, my dear. I've been an adventurer, a Lion Guard officer, a spy, a diplomat. People claim the Investigator Vale stories are about me, or that I wrote them. Ridiculous. I'm retired now, but I still dabble from time to time.
But did you write the Investigator Whale books?
Oh, pish posh. Do these look like the ink-stained fingers of a writer of overly imaginative and lurid tales to you? I'm rather fond of the bawdy investigator and her adventures, though. They remind me of my younger days.
What's your role here?
I'm overseeing security for the conference. A few months ago, Lord Baccaro approached me, explained his grand plans, and lured me out of retirement, you might say.
Why did Lord Baracco select you for this task?
My charming personality. When I was an agent for High King Emmerich, I traveled widely and met many dignitaries, including Lord Baccaro. He asked me to make sure everything went smoothly for his conference. So far, it's been anything but.
Okay.
I'm a dockmaster, not a bloody mage. What does the lady expect me to do if her ships never made it to the docks in the first place?
Oh, that has to be reference to original Star Trek. You don't seem very concerned about these missing ships.
Should I be? Lady Arabelle suspects some sort of foul play, but not on my docks. Not a chance. Gonfalon Bay is safe. Everyone knows that. Trouble comes from the mainland, not from here. Of course, the waters to the northeast can be treacherous.
Treacherous? How so?
The closer you get to Amanos, the more unpredictable the currents become. And storms constantly barrage the coast, not to mention sea elf pirates. A good captain knows these things. None of that would keep Lady Arabelle's ships from reaching port.
I haven't talked with Lord Baracco. Bagaro, whatever. Lord Bagaro mentioned a powerful storm. I haven't talked with that guy yet.
Like I said, storms close to Amanos aren't that unusual. I doubt the ships we're waiting for would have sailed that far north. Just in case, I sent people to look for signs of wreckage in the shallows. I really don't expect them to find any, though.
Okay.
Ah, a visitor. Or another one of Lady Arabelle's associates. Either way, welcome to our island. Baccaro Valorous, founder of the Society of the Steadfast, at your service. I hope you find your visit to High Isle restful and profitable.
You mentioned the storm off the coast. It might be before I start to talk with Lady Arabelle.
Yes, a sudden squall of unusual intensity. It died out just as quickly as it arose. I noticed it off to the northeast. Dark clouds filled that part of the horizon. Perhaps our ships were delayed by the shifting winds, or decided to wait out the storm.
What's so special about these particular ships?
I'm afraid that's privileged information. Suffice it to say, the cargo coming in on those ships is vital to the conference the Society of the Steadfast is sponsoring.
Somehow I feel that alliance leaders are on those ships. And you don't share Lady Arabelle's concerns.
Of course I do, but I learned long ago to have patience when it comes to such matters. Not every setback is a conspiracy, and not every delay is the act of a Daedric cult. Though, if you do learn anything of imminent concern, please let us know.
Tell me more about the Society of Steadfast.
I'm a philanthropist. I started the Society of the Steadfast to give relief to those caught up in the suffering caused by the Three Banners War. We establish healing tents for the wounded, distribute food and water, and provide whatever aid we can.
So why sponsor a conference?
As Lady Arabelle said, that's not something we're ready to talk about. Not until the cargo from the missing ships is secured. After that, I'll answer any questions you have. I'll even proclaim the purpose of the conference from the town square.
Tell me more about High Isle.
High Isle is the primary island in the Sisters Archipelago. Technically, we're a Breton holding, but we try to behave as a neutral port. People from all over Tamriel come to experience the natural beauty of the island. Well, nobles mostly.
So it's a vacation spot for nobles.
Parts of it. But we have a rich history, and the same sorts of dangers you'd experience on the mainland. Bandits, pirates, wild beasts. And you might want to avoid our sister island, Aminos. It's a harsh jungle that has long served as a prison.
A prison for who?
Mostly political prisoners from the Empire at first. Later, rival nobles, pirates, murderers. The worst of the worst. Today it also includes war criminals and certain prisoners of war. Aminos Station is friendly enough, but the jungle is deadly.
Okay.
That's what he said.
So, first to the inn.
I hear these knights are robbing people and looting caravans. Someone ought to do something. Hail, friend. Have you heard about the band of robber knights that waylaid travelers on the road to Gonfalon Bay? I came to High Isle to trade, but getting goods from the interior has become a roll of the dice.
Robber Knights.
A rogue band that calls itself the Ascendant Order. I thought they were only active on the mainland, but they're here on High Isle. Rabble-rousers and troublemakers, if you ask me. And now, I hear they're looting caravans outside the city walls.
Interesting. Speaking of rumors, have you heard anything about the trio of missing ships?
Not specifically, but I saw some fancy-pants nobles giving the dockmaster grief. Missing ships could mean anything. Storms, pirates, poor winds, worthless navigators. Try Sergeant Dane over there. He's with the Sisters Guard and knows a lot.
Okay.
I'm off duty, newcomer. Got a complaint? Take it to one of the other guards.
I'm looking for information about the trio of missing ships.
We police High Isle. Ships that haven't arrived yet aren't our problem. Besides, we've got our hands full with these so-called Ascendant Order Knights. They're stirring up trouble all across the island.
What do you know about Ascendant Order?
Just that they're little more than well-armed bandits. They've been recruiting the poor to bolster their numbers. Now they're robbing caravans while claiming they fight for justice. Honest folk don't hide their faces behind helmets and masks.
What does the Ascendant Order want?
They're malcontents. They go on about how the high and mighty misuse their power by squabbling over the Ruby Throne. It started out small enough, defying authority, inciting riots, petty sabotage. But now they're hurting people.
Thanks for the information.
Something else, newcomer? I'd like to get back to my drink.
You say the Ascendant Order is causing trouble. Can't the guard stop them?
Ordinary bandits, the Sisters Guard can handle. But when we send enough guards to meet a company of Ascendant Order Ravagers, these faceless knights just melt away. And if we don't send enough guards, then our guards don't come back.
Why do you call them faceless?
Might as well be. Most knights proudly display their emblems. They wear the colors of their house and paint family crests on their shields. These Ascendant Order knights never remove their helms and bear no devices. They could be anybody.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anything on the city? Any more? interesting that there was white otter hyacinth inside of that clam.
You don't look like a salvager. Come to join up with those so-called knights who've been hanging around, did you? Pfeh, I'd rather go hungry than swear myself to the likes of them.
3 ships never arrived to Gunfallen Bay. Have you seen anything?
Haven't seen anything sail by in the lock recently, and no new wreckage washed up today. But I've been keeping my head down. Those robber knights have been chasing off salvagers who won't promise to help them.
Tell me about these rubber knights.
They were recruiting, or at least offering the chance to earn a reward. They wanted people ready to haul in whatever came ashore. Several salvagers went with them. I wouldn't, though. What I find is mine.
Where did the knights take the other salvagers?
To a cave just down the beach. But I'd avoid it if I were you. Old Charbel nearly lost his head snooping around there. I don't know if they found what they were looking for, but I think they left a few knights behind to watch the shallows.
Okay. Okay. No blade of woe for these guys. Where I have to go next? Um,
Oh, a traveler. I thought those vile knights had returned. Forgive me, I must continue praying for the return of our idol. Without it, this tower's light will remain dark.
what happened to the lighthouse flame?
This lighthouse is special. It's blessed by Kinnereth, the god of winds and sea. No fire serves as a beacon for nearby ships, but the divine light of Kinnereth herself. But without the sacred idol, the light cannot shine. Alas, the idol was stolen.
Who stole the idol?
Knights in unmarked livery broke in and stole the Kinnereth idol. I watched the scoundrels flee to the west with the sacred edifice. Perhaps, dare I ask, would you be willing to recover the idol for the lighthouse so I may restore the beacon?
Tell me more about these knights first.
They may wear the garb of knights, but the ruffians who assaulted me carry themselves like robbers and outlaws. Whoever they are, they're dangerous. Be wary of them, and may the wind guide you.
I'll find the knights and retrieve the idol.
Bless you, traveler. Please understand, to my order, this is more than just a lighthouse. This beacon spreads Kinnereth's blessing across both land and sea, but only with the idol in place, so it must be returned.
What else can you tell me about the lighthouse?
It is marvelous, is it not? This is actually the second beacon to stand atop Gonfalon Head. It dates back to the early 1st century. When I assumed my duties here, the tower was in poor repair. Dangerous, even.
It seems fine now.
When Duchess Alea Dufort assumed her father's duties a few years ago, she ordered a complete renovation of the structure. I'm sure she wanted to protect trade in Gonfalon Bay, but she spared no expense in rebuilding the lighthouse.
Okay.
You return, and with the idol. Place it here, and I shall call for Mother Kinnereth. This traveler has set right the desecration of this holy place. Return to us your blessing, and let your light shine over the land and sea. I cannot thank you enough. With the idol returned and the light restored, we can ensure the safe passage of many a weary traveler. Is there any way a priest of humble means could repay you? A blessing, perhaps?
3 ships... 3 ships never arrived to Gonfalon Bay. Did you see anything from up here?
Shortly after the lighthouse was pillaged, I spied 3 ships on the horizon. Then suddenly, the clouds darkened, and a terrible storm began to blow in. I lost sight of the ships after that. Perhaps they were simply blown off course?
Is that sort of weather common here?
Aminos is notorious for its storms, but Kinnereth generally blesses High Isle with fair weather. I wonder, the way the storm swept in seemed unnatural, and it happened so soon after Kinnereth's idol was removed.
Do you think that's why the knights attacked the lighthouse?
The idol has little value outside the lighthouse. Its light does not shine in any other location. My order believes Kinnereth's light blesses High Isle. Why steal the idol unless the knights meant to revoke her protection? A troubling thought indeed.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Good. You found my field office. I thought I'd keep an eye on the lock while awaiting your report. My own investigations have turned up little about our missing ships. Tell me, did you uncover anything useful? Did the lighthouse keeper spot them?
After rogue knights darkened the beacon, the keeper spotted 3 ships before the storm rolled in.
Darken the beacon? The locals revere that light. Who would dare offend Kinnereth in such a way? Something is indeed wrong here. At least our missing ships reached these waters, but this storm worries me. Tell me more about the rogue knights.
It's the Ascendant Order. The inn's patrons said they have been robbing people and attacking caravans.
The Ascendant Order, of course. I thought the rumors about rogue knights troubling folk outside of town had a familiar ring, but I'd hoped we'd seen the last of the Order at Sword's Rest. Tell me, did you learn anything at the Shallows?
Someone called the Ascendant Magus recruited salvagers to capture shipwrecks survivors.
It seems the Ascendant Order knew the ships would be wrecked, and they helped make sure by extinguishing the lighthouse beacon. They knew my cargo was coming to High Isle. This means the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild delegates are in danger too.
Wait, what does your missing cargo have to do with the delegates?
Ah, you caught that, did you? My missing cargo is more delegates for the conference. Perhaps the most important ones. But I need you to check on the guild delegates right now. They went to visit a druid named Ravana. Her hut lies to the west.
Tell me more. Tell me about the guild guys.
Valencia, you know, she created the invitation medallions. As for Guild General Quentin, I only met him when he arrived. Seems to have a good head on his shoulders, but the war has cost him dearly. He lost his wife in a raid.
Why is the Ascendant Order here?
To disrupt the peace talks? It would be a grand stage for the Ascendant Order's message. Or they might plan to strike at the delegations. Influential voices from all 3 alliances will be here soon. A tempting target.
Who is this Ascendant Magus?
The Ascendant Champion Superior. When we defeated the champion at Sword's Rest Isle, we only defeated one of the Order's leaders. I've heard whispers about an Ascendant Lord, too. I can't imagine there are too many more of them after that.
Who is this druid who these guild guys went to visit?
Her name is Ravana. She's something of a local apothecary. She uses her skill with herbs and healing to help the folk of High Isle. With the conference delayed, Valencia was curious about druidic magic, so off she went. Quentin decided to tag along.
Okay.
Greetings, traveler. Is there something I can do for you? Do you need a poultice or perhaps an herbal tea?
I'm looking for Guild Magister Valencia and Guild General Quinten.
Ah, yes. The curious mage and the stern warrior. They stopped by. When I mentioned that rogue knights had been making the countryside dangerous, they decided to investigate. I told them where I'd last seen the knights, and they set out at once.
Where did you send them?
A clearing to the southwest. I'll mark the spot on your map. I saw a band of the knights gathering there the last time I went out to gather herbs. They forced me to retreat without them. I warned Valencia and Quentin it might be dangerous.
Are druids common on High Isle?
Oh, you'll find druids throughout the Sisters Archipelago. Not too many on the mainland, though. Long ago, we druids left Tamriel and its troubles behind us. But here, our ancient ways survived.
Why did the Druids leave the mainland?
Our forebears among the Bretons believed civilization should live alongside nature, not tame it. In the early years of the Direni hegemony, they struggled for the soul of High Rock.
What happened?
They lost. Driven into exile, the Druids left to seek a place where they could live according to their beliefs. Their wanderings brought them to the Sisters. The followers of the Weird remained behind. They walked a different path than the Druids.
What exactly is a Druid?
We follow the old ways. Some call us priests of Ifre, but that is only part of our truth. We are children of the land, like the Weird, guides and teachers to those who live in harmony with nature. People were not meant to bow before crowns of metal.
Are you some kind of virus?
No, friend. We know the Weird, and we respect their beliefs. Druids and Weirises are two branches that grow from the same tree. But we are called to be in this world, not to withdraw from it. Some circles see it differently, of course.
Circles? What are they?
Circles are fellowships of like-minded druids. Each interprets Ifre's will differently, but druids of the same circle share common traditions and goals. I belong to the Stonelore Circle. We seek to teach others by the example of our work.
Are there other circles in this place?
Yes. Travel far enough in the archipelago and you may meet druids of the Eldertide or Firesong circles. Although the Firesong rarely leave their island, and you should be wary of the Eldertide. They do not like city folk or mainlanders.
What are the Weird?
The Weird are Breton witches. They follow teachings and practices that share a common ancestry with the druids. Whereas we left the mainland, they remained behind to safeguard the forests of High Rock.
Any other differences?
We have more in common than we have differences. The biggest that you would notice is that the Weirds are all female, while we druids accept all genders in our ranks. And we organize in circles of common beliefs, while the Weird Sisters form covens.
Okay.
Over here. I could use some help. Ah, my friend. How glad I am to see you again. This island is far more dangerous than I expected, especially after what just happened.
Tell me what happened.
Guild General Quentin accompanied me to visit Druid Ravana. When she told us about rogue knights in the area, Quentin was eager to investigate. It was the Ascendant Order. They overpowered Quentin and knocked me senseless. They captured Quentin.
Was Guild General Quentin injured?
I don't think so. The Ascendant Order was definitely trying to take us alive. That's the only reason I had the opportunity to throw up a shroud spell and avoid being captured myself. Did you come out here to find us?
Lady Arabelle sent me to warn you that the Ascendant Order was targeting conference delegates.
And Ravana told you where to find us. Good. Now, we must rescue Quentin. I may have a way to find where the Ascendant Order took him, but we should get to safety first. Meet me back at Druid Ravana's hut.
Do you think the Ascendant Order followed you out here?
No. We came upon them just as they were finishing an attack on a caravan. But I assume they recognized us or decided our station warranted capture rather than elimination. But you came with a warning, didn't you? What did you find out?
The Ascendant Order sabotaged the lighthouse. We think they may have wrecked Lady Arabelle's ships.
Wrecked the ships? How in oblivion could they coordinate such a thing? Clearly, the Ascendant Order is aware of the plans for Lord Baccaro's conference. They're here in force and causing more trouble than we anticipated.
Any idea why they wanted to capture you instead of just killing you?
If they recognized us as delegates, there's all sorts of ways they could hold that over the conference. If they just assume we're rich nobles, ransom is always an option. But who can really say what those helmeted bastards are thinking?
What have you been up to since we last met?
I've remained at Lady Arabelle's side since we delivered the invitation medallions to the delegates. I hope to help make sure their journey to High Isle proceeded smoothly. It seems the Ascendant Order is not so easily avoided.
What were you and Guild General Quentin doing out here?
I came to talk to Ravana about arcane and related topics, and Quentin decided to tag along. When Ravana told us about rogue knights, I feared it might be the Ascendant Order. Quentin wanted to investigate. Turned out I was right.
Okay.
I understand, Valencia. Do what you must to find your friend.
I owe you a debt of gratitude for coming to my aid. It seems once again that Lady Arabelle chose well. Now to see if I can find Guild General Quentin, and by extension, the rogue knights who carried him away.
How can you track Guild General Quentin?
Do you recall the invitation medallions I enchanted? Each delegate carries one, so I can trace my own magic to locate Quentin. Now let me see. They moved northeast, across the lock. I see an abandoned chapel. Crypts. No question, Quentin is there.
If all the delegates have medallion, how can you use them to find the missing ships?
Lady Arabelle asked me to try as soon as we realized the ships were late. I wasn't able to make a connection with those medallions. Maybe they were too far away, or some other magic interfered with my scrying, but I wasn't able to detect anything.
Should we head directly to abandoned crypts you saw?
No, we need to return to Lady Arabelle and share this information. Then we can mount a rescue for Guild General Quentin. I'll meet you at Lady Arabelle's little pavilion. What she calls her field office, I believe.
I'll meet you there.
That sounds like a Bane chapel, but only one medallion is there. Valencia apprised me of the situation. I believe I know the place where she thinks they're holding Quentin. It must be the crypts below a Bane chapel on the northern shore of the loch. Will you accompany us on this rescue mission, my dear?
I'll help you rescue Guild General Quentin.
Smashing. This will be like that time I pulled General Gautier out of a Reach stronghold during the border raids of 566. Now that was an adventure. Anyway, it's too bad Valencia couldn't scry the locations of the other missing delegates.
Mind if I ask you about the delegates that were aboard the missing ships?
I suppose you've earned the truth, and you certainly deserve my complete confidence. The 3 ships carried High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, and Prince Ernskar, son of Yoren the Skald King. I dare say I've misplaced the leaders of Tamriel.
Alliance leaders decided to attend the peace talks themselves.
I warned them of the danger, and we took such elaborate precautions. Obviously, they weren't enough. If we find Quentin with the Ascendant Order, we may find our missing royals. Let's meet at the chapel north of the lock and see what awaits us.
I'll meet you there.
We'll rendezvous at a Bane chapel on the north side of the lock. I've already sent an operative ahead to scout the area. Be prepared to defend yourself. The Ascendant Order won't give up Guild General Quentin without a fight.
What if this is a trap?
Whatever the situation, I won't abandon Quentin to his fate. Oh, that's good. Let me write that down. Besides, we have to risk it. Both to save Quentin and to see if we can learn anything about the missing Alliance leaders.
You think the Alliance leaders might also be there?
We know their medallions aren't there, but they could have lost them at sea. Regardless, if the Ascendant Order uses the chapel as a hideout, we may learn something about their plans. Or a clue as to where to search for the Alliance leaders, perhaps.
Tell me more about High King Emeric, Queen Iren, and Prince Ernskar.
Not a student of politics, my dear. I understand completely. They're the leaders of the Alliances vying for the Ruby Throne. Well, Iren and Emeric lead two of the Alliances. Ernskar is the son of Yoren the Scald King, who leads the third.
What alliances? Oh my god.
You poor dear. You must pay more attention to current events. Queen Iren leads the Aldmeri Dominion, High King Emeric the Daggerfall Covenant, and Prince Ernskar represents the Ebonheart Pact, the opponents in the aptly named Three Banners War.
What are they fighting about?
It's complicated. The Ruby Throne sits vacant, and the Tamrielic Empire lacks an emperor. None of the alliances can stomach the idea that one of the others might win the throne. It's a wonder Bakaro and I got them to agree to these peace talks.
Yes, indeed.
There. It's open. Got any more locks you need picked? How about you, Valencia?
I think not, thank you.
Now's not the time, Jakan. Let's see what awaits us down in the crypts.
I can't pinpoint the exact location of Quentin's medallion.
I'll scout ahead. Maybe someone should watch the door if anyone follows us.
Quentin is our priority, but keep your eyes open. Who knows what the Ascendant Order left lying about? Ascendant Order propaganda. Don't be taken in. They are not as benevolent as they want you to think. No sign of Quentin, though. We should keep going.
Ah, it was planned.
The Ascendant Order has the captains of missing ships. But where are the Alliance leaders?
Lady Arabelle.
Colleen, Saji, Zuzo. Thank the Divine for the right. But where are the delegates?
Apologies, my lady. We lost our charges.
Saji, it's not all right.
Not to spoil a reunion, but we're about to get company.
Jakan, free the captains. Friend, keep the Ascendant Order at bay. Buy us some time.
Try to keep moving.
Wait, got it.
Let Valencia get the captains. We'll find her. We might have 21 Come back. It's Quentin. Let's listen and try to figure out what's going on.
An age of free people.
Each delegate carries a medallion like this one. It serves as both an invitation and
Kill the meddling investigator nipping at our heels.
Lady Arabelle? But she's...
No longer working alone. She found some capable help. Deal with them.
everything from me.
I guess you made your choice.
I am with you. How can I help?
Here is your chance, Quentin. Stop these fools and strike a blow for the people.
Ba ba ba. So Quentin, she's a traitor.
For the Ascendant Order!
We can't allow the General to stop us. I'm sorry it came to that. But well fought, my friend. Let's speak outside. I didn't expect Guild General Quentin to turn on us, and I certainly didn't desire his death. It seems sympathy for the Ascendant Order is more widespread than I knew. We must be cautious, particularly with whom we choose to trust going forward.
You think some of the others may turn on us? Well, AD's queen at least will turn.
Do I expect it? No. But that doesn't mean we should let our guard down. This venture wasn't a complete failure, though. We rescued the captains of our missing ships. We need to find out what happened at sea and what befell the Alliance leaders.
Where did Jakarn and Valencia take the captains?
To Mandrake Manor, my home in Gonfalon Bay. I'll mark it on your map. Jakarn, Valencia, and I have been using my townhouse as a base of operations. I'm confident that it is as safe from the Ascended Order as any other location we might choose.
Why is it called Mandrake Manor?
Oh, the name comes from a book I'm rather fond of. I bought the manor to serve as my home in retirement, and I keep a few mementos of my career there. Meet me there, my dear, and we'll see what our rescued captains have to say about all this.
I'll meet you in Gonfalon Bay. Because it's above.
Ah, there you are. Go inside and talk.
Zaji is glad to see you, Walker. But there will be no reunion with the perfect Pounce. She is gone. This time for good. The terrible storm was the end of her. And that is not the worst of it. Zaji has lost Queen Irene and Casca too.
Can you tell me what happened out at sea?
Zaji must admit he was sleeping in his cabin when the storm hit. He woke up when cold water climbed into bed with him. The next thing Zaji knows, he is being fished out of the sea by strange knights. I'm saved, Zaji thinks. Then they tied me up.
You were fished out of the water by Ascendant Order.
The annoying knights, yes. Zaji heard the commander talking. The Lord, they called him. He was angry the Alliance leaders did not wash ashore with Zaji. Zaji did not see the Lord's face, but he spoke like a Breton noble. Zaji could hear it.
What about Queen Irene?
Zaji lost Queen Irene, and first mate Casca too. The wind and the waves must have carried them somewhere else. The Lord and the Magus, the Order's leaders, they swore to comb every beach until they found her. And the others too, Zaji supposes.
Oh yeah.
I thank you for my rescue. I do not think the Ascendant Order had any more use for me. Once they realized I could not tell them what became of Prince Ernscar, they dragged me back to the cell.
Do you remember what happened out at sea?
I remember it like the ripples in my favorite pond. A storm blew up without warning. My ship was driven onto the rocks near Aminos and broke apart. All were cast into the sea. When we reached shore, those rogue knights grabbed us.
What happened to Prince Inskar?
I did not see what became of him. He might have been trapped in the part of the ship that was swept away. Or maybe the currents carried him to a different part of the shore. Or he might have drowned. I know that many of my crew did.
Funny. First time we met, you were the one fished out of the water. Now look at us. I owe you a great debt. And I owe Dockmaster Arnauld a debt of a different kind. I visit High Isle often, and I thought he was a friend. Bah.
Can you tell me what happened out at the sea? Out at sea and how you wound up in the crypts?
An armored mage and a gang of ruffians were waiting at the shallows. They clubbed down all who made it ashore. Dockmaster Arnauld showed up, and I thought we were saved. But the mage, a Brent noble by his voice, paid him to walk away and leave.
Back up. What happened before you washed ashore?
We were nearing landfall when a huge storm swept out of nowhere. I looked for the light at Gonfalon Head, but the lighthouse was dark. We were blown off course, crashed upon some rocks. I lost sight of High King Emmerich, but somehow made it to shore.
Do you know where High King Emmerich and the other leaders are now?
I'm not sure. I didn't see any of the royals when I waded ashore, and I was the last one from my ship to make it to the beach. The tide turned as I swam in, and no one was washed up after me. I'm afraid you won't find the High King at the shallows.
Over here, dear. We have much to do. I adore this view. Isn't the Colossus a wondrous sight? Still, gazing upon it does nothing to quell my anxiety. Somehow the Ascendant Order learned not only about our secret peace talks, but that the Alliance leaders were going to attend.
At least they don't have High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, or Prince Ernscar yet.
And neither do we. We're not even sure they're still alive, but we must hope. Your help has been invaluable thus far, my dear, and you've earned every piece of gold in this pouch. We'll find the Alliance leaders and unmask the Order. We have to.
Okay,
just as the Colossus watches.
Okay, that was first part of main storyline for High Isles chapter. I'm gonna end this video here and we are going to continue this storyline on later video. Thanks for watching and I catch you on next one.